you tell me this is a practical joke? Well, it kills me to say it, but I would be really impressed.
Impressing you, Cade, is the easiest thing I'll do all day.
Ikora, what have you got?
Someone or something has sabotaged the Skyline defense systems.
Every sensor beyond the wall has gone dark.
Battle stations! Everyone with me, now! This enemy has taken our home. And now, they threaten our very existence. But if we attack together, we can take back our home, or we die trying.
If you tell me this is a practical joke, well, it kills me to say it, but I would be really impressed.
Impressing you, Cade, is the easiest thing I'll do all day.
Ikora, what have you got?
Someone or something has sabotaged the Skyline defense systems.
Every sensor beyond the wall has gone dark.
Battle stations! Everyone with me, now! And now, they threaten our very existence. But if we attack together, we can take back our home, or we die trying.
Cora, if you tell me this is a practical joke, well, it kills me to say it, but I would be really impressed.
Impressing you, Cade, is the easiest thing I'll do all day.
Hi, Cora. What have you got?
Someone or something to sabotage the Skyline defense system.
Ever since to be on the wall has gone dark.
Battle station! Everyone with me, now! This enemy has taken our home. And now, they threaten our very existence. But if we attack together, we can take back our home, or we die trying.
Guardian, time to kick them where it hurts.
Welcome to an extra special episode of Fireteam Chat. Joining me today is Fran Mirabella,
Hey, Guardians.
CJ Gibson,
What's up?
and we all played Destiny. We played it on PS4, we played it on
2.
PC, and we're going to talk about our impressions right now. A little bit later, though, we're going to have some Bungie interviews. We got some hard-hitting stuff. We have some community pieces and more. Hi, everybody. How's it going? It has been a long day,
Oh, yeah.
but we're having a good time. We're doing it live.
What
That's
time
it.
did we get up at? It was like
We've been up
7
since
a.m.
7. I could not sleep
Working
last
since
night.
7.
I was so
Crazy.
excited. We've
Yeah.
seen it. How about that presentation?
So good.
Yeah, I don't know where to start, man. I mean, I
Let's
can
start
go
with the campaign.
for hours.
We'll start
Yeah.
with the campaign. They're really focusing on story. I am incredibly happy with where they're going. I hope they can keep that pace throughout the
Yeah.
storyline.
Yes.
I'm going to say that you heard me talking about it on the show, I think. Remember the over the shoulder and you
Yes.
slam, you go down on the ground, and like,
Yes.
I'm getting that out of the campaign. So like when I saw that they're delivering on that high impact, high action, and like just like when Zavala like drops in like around me, like he jumps
Yeah.
in the middle of gameplay, like that was in the cutscene, and then it's like all of a sudden it's in gameplay.
Yeah.
And if you're in the right spot anyway, it's really amazing.
It's really good.
If they can keep that up for, I'm trying to figure out like where I feel good it's long enough, but let's say like 6-7 hours, maybe that's too long, I don't know, but it'll be amazing. I'm super excited.
And did they confirm that that was the official starting of the game?
It's not.
Not quite. We're
Okay.
going to have a full interview later on youtube.com/fireteamchat, IGN, IGN's YouTube. They do actually talk about that a little bit, so you guys will have to
Yeah.
stay
The
tuned for
homecoming.
that.
Nice, yeah.
However, CJ, you got to play the campaign on
Yes.
a PlayStation 4 Pro. I am
Yes.
sorry you had to play as a Warlock. I know
Oh,
you're a
stop
Hunter
it.
main.
You know, but
you're a
the,
Hunter main.
the Warlock Super is awesome, though. It's
The
one
sword
of those,
it-
the
sword,
sword
yeah.
from the sky. Like, so I was wondering when we first saw the trailer, and there's a lot going through your brain. At first, I'm like, I can fly. Like, there's that moment where you're like, yes. And as you do it, and
The
you
Dawn Blade?
yeah, and you're controlling it in the sky. So there's this nice balance of feeling like you can fly. Like as a
quiver.
As a hunter, I was just gonna say that. As a hunter, you get that extra little bit of levitation when you're
Yeah.
about to do your quiver, and it just kind of suspends your jump a little extra longer. And the Warlock
Fran, how do
does
they
kind
sound
of
in
feel
your
like
brain?
that. One more time.
No, that's a quiver. I have no idea how it sounds.
No, but and so yeah, just looking at the effects of the game, and that was the thing that struck me right off the bat. It's beautiful. Like it's the environment and seeing the tower destroyed there. It was like it actually choked me up. Like we saw that in the beginning, and when that happened, I was like, oh man, there's my vault. It's all gone.
Yeah,
it's really
it's
gone.
real. It's
Yeah,
happening
it's
now.
legit.
I mean,
so.
What did you think, Destin?
Yeah.
I know
All
you're
right,
the host,
so
didn't have to ask. but
like
yeah.
in the campaign, seeing the tower under siege and
Unreal.
actually caring about the people who are like, it looks like people are dying.
Yeah.
basically.
Dude,
like,
you go back to that tower, right?
Yeah.
you go back to the tower, it's totally under siege. Everything's being blown up. We all got really excited when we actually saw we went through that door.
Yes, I know.
Like later over by the speaker.
So cool.
They bust through the door and they're ready to go.
Yeah.
And there's more cabal coming
Yeah.
in and you're trying to they're trying to evacuate people basically,
Yes.
and they're like, go.
Yeah.
And we don't know where the speaker is, for example. It seems like he might have died. We don't know
And
what
Ikora,
happened.
Yeah,
when she
Ikora
tosses,
looks-
Ikora's like,
and she
yes,
tosses
he's
a
not
Nova
here.
bomb
Yeah.
against the ship there
Yeah.
as it takes off. There's so
So
many
epic.
really clutch moments.
Let's talk about that. So
They're
those clutch
supers.
moments,
Yes.
you're not standing there while they do something.
No,
They're not
no.
just sending you up and being like, well, that seemed like a rough run when you nuke everybody. They're there in the action with you, something we have
Yes.
asked for in the gameplay forever.
Yeah, literally. Like, so that's what happens, right? I just want to stress though, like when you go in the tower in Destiny 2, it is surreal.
Yes.
Because it's like it's rainy. It's like busted
Yeah.
up.
The shimmering lighting effect.
It just looks different, obviously, because
does.
the engine's different now. They talked about that a little bit in our interview. There's a lot more object rendering and like how stuff reflects. And anyway, going past that, so you wrap around down towards New Monarchy and the speaker.
Yeah.
The doors open, takes a second, and then like Ikora's there. She comes in with that the Nova bomb, and then right, that's when she's talking about the speaker being gone. She jumps on the ship.
Yeah.
I know
she's
you guys
mad.
probably all saw this, but like
So good.
it's so cool. And that was the first moment with Ikora. I don't know if it's Ikora or Ikora,
Yeah.
but that's what they say, Ikora in the game. That was the first moment I saw her just be really like commanding, like a vanguard, like
Yeah.
you want.
We've heard.
So cool to see.
We've heard in the lore how badass these characters are, and we get to see it for the first time. We see
Yes.
Zavala protecting everybody.
Yeah.
We see Ikora doing her thing. We see Cade kill some people, but also get trapped by the Vex.
Yes.
Later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cade's great.
Yeah.
Cade's an awesome.
We didn't
character.
see a ton of Cade though. I thought in the trailers you see plenty of them, but I thought
Yeah.
you would see a lot.
But
You
that's
don't.
really smart though, because I think they know that Cade in doses is nice comic relief when required. And this moment, like at the beginning or wherever this is in the game, is super emotional. Like those cutscenes actually where Zavala is like shielding them off. Like you're always as a Titan bubble, like, whoa, this is easy, no problem. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna walk out of this. Like he literally looks like he's protecting like the whole city there, or as many people can fit into his, the bubble shield. And it's crazy those moments when you actually see them all in that cutscene activate their supers. That like everybody went wild.
It's cool.
That was so neat to see that stuff.
All of the community stuff that they talked about, they've basically solved the matchmaking their way. Guess what? We are getting the matchmaking that we've been asking
Yeah.
for. We're getting it in a unique Bungie-style way where they care about community, they care about how they're presenting that to their audience.
Yeah.
And the way they're going to do it is through clans. You're going to be able to
Yes.
play solo if you want to and queue up as that empty slot for clans if you want to, and you can play with them. And that is just awesome. We got Luke and Mark to talk about it. That'll be at the end of this segment. And I'm really, really happy they found a solution that works to retain the care that they want the community to have for each other, and the like, we've made a lot of friends online. We got Michael
for sure.
Lovery, we got Champ, we got my raid team,
Stev,
Goji,
he
and everybody.
was there
Stev
today.
was there with us
Yep.
today. Pat, everybody we play with.
Too
I
many
could, I
to
could
name. I'm
name
gonna get in
everybody.
trouble
if I
Take
know.
over. Yeah, I just don't want to make anybody mad. But yeah, so like we've developed those relationships. There's Guardian Con coming down the road, and like tons of friendships have been made from this game, and they're going to retain that with these new players that are going to be coming in.
But let's talk about that though, right? Unless it's down the road. You tell me in the run of show. But what do you think of the system? Like instead of it just being, because think about it. What they're saying is, look, matchmaking, we don't like it. We've told you we don't like it, but we get it. 50% of the player base did not engage in raids and stuff. Therefore, implying it's a problem. It's a problem to not have it. People are missing out on this great game activity. But we're not going to do it just wide open. You have to take a few of these steps to get in. So I'm curious what you guys think.
I think
I think it's a smart solution.
I do too.
I think you're gonna, we have the LFG sites right now. You just hop into a random crew.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's all randos and one leader, like one person carrying the team. And it's going to be nice to kind of hop into a mostly solidified team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ideally, if it works well.
Because that's the piece of the
And play with
puzzle
people.
that you think about. You're always missing one or two people. You're never just jumping in, hey, let me see if I can like LFG a brand new 6-player raid.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, I can't remember the last time I've done that.
Yeah.
Unless
People do it every day still.
Well, I
obviously,
know, but unless you're the solo person or you're one or two trying to join. So it does make sense. And I mean, I think I was doing a couple community interviews there, and I think Say No to Rage was talking about how he actually really enjoys, bringing people through a raid the first time. And those kind of things, I think, the community's already really good at that.
It is,
So I think that this thing is just, it solidifies that even more. It might not be exactly the matchmaking we were thinking of, but once we see it fleshed out, I think it'll be good.
I think for new players, it's really smart. I think, I'm very happy with it. I think it's interesting. They also got to test it. It's funny, like talking to Luke a little bit, he used the word psychological kind of setup, right? And I think it is that. It's like, are you casual this? Are you, do you want to just help? And I think that's really smart to put a few filters on.
Yep.
But there's still barriers. I'd put that out there. And so in other words, are we going to bring that 50% up as much as we could have? Are you still going to be able to easily find clans to get into? I mean, that's my big question. Is it super accessible? But I will say,
will it be like reject, okay, buffering other clans that maybe are online?
Right, yeah. Interesting to see.
It's definitely relative probably to the amount of criteria you're searching for. I mean, I even think I heard him talking about specific languages at one point and then maybe filtering like that. So obviously when those kind of things come along, the community's very big, it's great. If it dwindles, and I think that's where, it's remained to be seen how it can actually be implemented. But it's a great start.
Guys, we are going to be taking your social questions. You can tweet at IGN or at Destin Legary. Get those followers, if you know what I mean. But tweet at those accounts, and we'll answer your questions live on the air. I got my phone here. Brian's going to feed them to me from social. So
taking calls, his number is
so if you want to call me, just call me up. We'll take it live on the air. So tweet any questions you might have, and we will address them live on the air. So we talked about the matchmaking system and how they've addressed it. And one point I want to say about what you're saying is this is pretty standard stuff that they needed to have in the sequel. So I'm really glad. Like being able to pick like mic or no mic, it's like good. You finally got what was needed. But I really liked how they addressed that community aspect.
I think it's really interesting and smart. I'm curious to see if it influences other games. Destiny's been able to do that, as call it stubborn as they've been with some of their choices. They've made some of the right moves too. The community is very strong, and the idea of these Sherpas and all has been great.
No, go ahead.
So we do have our first community question. Is it really 30 FPS on console?
Everybody's talking
Base Master J
about PC.
Yep. 30 FPS on
Across
console.
the board.
4K 30 locked.
Yes.
So you can't go up to 60 or anything, but that's 30 on console.
So that's on PS4 Pro, right?
Yeah.
Technically, they dodged the Scorpio answer.
Yeah.
So I would say it's a possibility, by the way.
No, they confirmed consoles are 30.
They said we're not talking about Scorpio, though. Just to be fair, I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. They said that in our interview too, but they didn't. They dodged Scorpio. So I don't want to get people's hopes up, but
I have about an hour and a half worth of interview footage. I'm pretty sure I can get that quote out.
All right, it's fine. People,
I mean, I'm
By the way, CJ called
this. Yes, I did. 30p on console. To me, there was not going to be enough power to render that game out the way that they wanted to do it. And I mean, they said that.
When you see the game again, that's the thing. I did expect a bigger engine change, but I will say, seeing it up close in the campaign, there's a lot of very pretty particles and just it looks great. It already looks great.
The engine looks fantastic.
It does.
But they couldn't do it at 60.
When we saw it, we were like, what? What is going on?
So I actually leaned over to both of you during the
we were freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, we're freaking out, but it's I said to you, did you notice it's 30?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys did or not, because those moments happen so quickly. I know, but my point is the game is just, what I'm saying is, the game is just so engaging on its own. That, even from a console standpoint, I think it's kind of nice. I actually kind of enjoy the cinematic feel of what that is.
Watch those motion flow 60 frame, when they take your movie at home on your TV and convert it to 60. It looks terrible.
Yeah.
But that's PvE. So PvP, obviously, I think a ton of people want 60.
Yes.
But by the way, we saw PC. And
we did. We're going to talk about the PC versus PS4 a little bit later in a segment.
Hang on.
Let's go back to the campaign stuff we saw. So the patrol areas, the new planets, we got Io, we got Titan, we got Nessus and Earth. Nessus and Earth.
Yeah.
And they all look pretty unique. It's nice to see the decks coming back. It's nice to see the lush sort of planets that they've built here. And when we played the Strike, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It didn't seem I didn't see too much off the beaten path exploration, a little bit here or there, but it's very you're descending constantly in that.
Yeah, it was a big descent. A lot of there was a lot of like
It's called
platformy
descent,
up and down.
so-
Yeah. So it was fun, but I will say it felt expected to me. Now I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
It had Protheon was the boss. I thought that was interesting. Had a little bit of a mini Atheon kind of thing going on, but yeah, when I played the Strike, that it brings up that question, where like. There's a big difference in the action between that and a campaign.
So yes,
like Strikes felt
dramatically.
very similar. I wasn't seeing these like, you know what I mean? These big action moments and big boss moments and staged pieces. Not that they didn't have some of that. I just mean like there's a very big difference in what we played in the homecoming piece of the story versus a Strike. A Strike felt like a Strike to me.
Yeah.
It felt very large. The worlds felt very massive in the Strike. Like I don't know.
It was big. It was wide.
Yeah, it does.
But you couldn't go anywhere.
No,
really.
but
It was
just the
wide.
field of view. There's something that's just a little bit different in it. Everybody was saying it's like, what does it feel like? What does it look like? And there's just like this. It feels a little not slower is not the right word, but like even like the shooting mechanics and the shade stepping. There's just a little bit more precision in it in a way. In
They
comparison,
changed
I
the
feel
feel.
like.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we're planning on talking about
Let's
that.
talk about jumping.
Yeah.
It felt weird to me. It did
did.
not feel the same
Tripped
way.
me out in a
It was a
Warlock.
little weird at first. You're like, all right, you get adjusted.
The sound effects changed.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
sound effects
This-
changed.
it's
just,
so weird.
It flows nice.
Yep.
But the jumping was different.
Oh yeah. That was immediate. I was like tried to like do the boosted Warlock jump, and I was like, I just didn't know what I was doing at first. Yeah, I actually botched a jump. Yeah.
You?
We'll make sure
Yeah.
to see
As a
that more
warlock?
later.
But there's a much floatier aspect on the build out of the Warlock. Angel of Light was built in. They have this whole new subclass system now, so it was really interesting to have like you just had Angel of Light plus a couple of the other new things that they have, but. Like I could always float up in the air. Like we had platforms dropping out from under us, and like Angel of Light existed in the last one, but it was just interesting to have it kind of built in as a standard because we couldn't switch that up at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what did you think of that whole setup?
Let's talk about Shade Step as the Golden Gun Hunter. Whoa.
Yeah?
That blew my
you
mind.
have Shade Step as Golden Gun.
So I didn't, basically it's a cooldown thing. So rather than being able to spam it every couple seconds, you actually have, so it's 3 blocks of
Yeah,
meters.
it's your third.
And it's your third, tied into it. So, things like that, the sound effects, the way it feels, just the merging of those kind of things from one class to another. And who knows, right? We don't know. This is just the initial class, for Hunter. There could be more DLC later on that brings new classes into that. But yeah, that was really odd because your brain associates Shade Step with that Void class.
Totally.
So those couple, things like that are going to you're going to get the games confused a little bit, I think, if if you're like me, who plans to potentially go back and forth between the two of them maybe for a little bit, because soft spot still for Destiny 1, but loved everything so far that we've played for Destiny 2.
Definitely.
What about you?
So I definitely like the experience. I thought it was really interesting how they changed up the inventory. So like now you have kinetic damage weapons on top. You have elemental, which are the same as your kinetic actually. So you can have a pistol that's kinetic and a pistol that's elemental.
Yes.
And you can
Energy, yeah.
Yeah, you
The
can have
weapons.
energy based. And then snipers went into the heavy slot. So did fusion. So did
Snipers,
rocket launchers and
shotguns.
grenade launchers.
Yeah.
So we
Shotguns
got to
too.
see and shotguns. You're right. So we have all these new weapons that we're utilizing in a new slot, and I think it is a smart way to deal with people who are only using snipers with everybody's using Icebreaker in Destiny 1 right now in Crucible.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really smart way to handle that situation.
Yeah.
Get people closer.
It just occurred to me though, like going back to the raids especially, how much you rely on a sniper.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Normally it's like a Black Spindle or
And a
something,
shotgun too.
where you get ammo refill, and so
Yeah.
you probably get that again. But like think of trying to manage that now with heavy power ammo,
Yeah.
I think we didn't have to encounter that really. Like I didn't need to like pop someone in the head like 12 times, over and over again with each phase. But like think about it, you'll run out of that right away with snipers and that.
Well, they'll have heavy ammo drops. We don't know if heavy ammo synth is going to be in the game or not.
What's
it'll
the
work.
cooldown and how that works? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about how is that implemented when, you want to pick it up. It sounds like, and I don't quote me on this. Somebody said that in certain modes, especially the one we played, if you pick the ammo up, it doesn't share it anymore if it's heavy. And I'm not sure if that's confirmed or not, but there's changes to it, I think, that are going to be pretty dramatic that are going to affect it. Like when you die with the heavy, in PvP, do you lose it? And then all of a sudden we're in the same
Yeah.
boat. Like,
Yeah, you
no,
do,
yeah,
exactly,
like
yeah.
no heavy, no shotgun, no sniper ammo. So it's depending on how they implement those things into PvP. Yeah, it's pretty dramatic. And even just looking around for green, like my brain associates green
Oh, yeah.
with shotgun ammo or sniper ammo, or like purple's always heavy.
Oh yeah.
So trying to think, oh yeah, now I have to pay attention because this is actually, I have to have this weapon open for that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
You just gotta adjust to
Yeah,
it,
there's
though.
gonna
I
be a
mean-
bit of an adjustment. Yeah.
I like it though so far. It didn't really bother me, and I liked having like a scout and a hand cannon.
Yes.
And just switching between the two. Like when you think of that trade-off, it's something I'd wanted in the first place, right? I always was like loadouts, like hotkey loadouts on the D-pad or a rolling wheel to switch. Like now you have a little closer to that, you know. It's still the same weapon changing system where you go into the weapon menu and then change it. But again, just think of equipping like scout and hand cannon in particular, or pulse and hand cannon. It's something we've never been able to do before, and it feels good.
Pulse fire is amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
The sound
Oh, yeah.
and
Pulse feels really good.
The way it feels. And I noticed too, is this new? I'm pretty sure it is. There's like a hit registration marker that shows up.
I didn't notice
That's
that.
a little red like X
Yeah,
that
there's a
comes
cross.
up. That's
You're right.
like a damage
No, that's
indicator.
there. Because like if I throw my grenade as a trip mine and then I walk away, you see pop. It'll pop up on your screen.
but it just looks
Something's
a little
different
bit
about it.
different.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's tweaked.
Yeah, it's
The HUD
tweaked
is
a little
all
bit.
tweaked a little bit.
But familiar enough where you don't feel lost, which I think was important for them to do. I was actually really surprised when we first walked in. We're like, wow, the options menu, like there's my Guardian in the center. Like
They didn't
everything
change
is
it.
kind of on the left, that's weapon, and everything that's on the right, that's armor, and so that part is good. And I think that was important that they left that as is.
We have a few more things we're going to hit on, but we are going to throw it to the community. You've heard enough from us. Let's hear from a few community members really quick. We talked to them while they were at the venue, and we are going to cut to their reactions to the Destiny 2 gameplay reveal in just a moment here, whenever I get the thumbs up from our producer.
We're
Now.
doing it live.
That's bad. Trailer is incredible. That's bad. Trailer is incredible. I'm literally like lost for words right now.
When the video first started for Destiny 2, I got goosebumps. I was so excited and overwhelmed. Everything looked absolutely incredible. I couldn't believe how beautiful the scenery was.
One of the biggest things that stands out for me is definitely the open world. I've always felt like Destiny kind of lacked the kind of true desire to explore the planets, and now they've doubled up on the environments are bigger. There's more stuff to actually find. There's hidden treasures and stuff like.
PvP, a little bit too early to say. Feels interesting, though. Much longer time to kills. You're not just randomly dying from something, punching someone. It takes like 3 punches instead of 1 now.
I mean, aside from just being incredibly excited, I'm really looking forward to the way that they've slowed down the pace in PvP, I think, most prominently, and also giving you the ability to be like really tactical with the way that you approach situations in PvE.
I really like the fact that you can heal. That's awesome. You can be tactical, put up a shield. You can have Shade Step as a gunslinger. I don't know, I'm excited. And PC, the senpais have noticed it. It's awesome.
The Blizzard thing was crazy.
The Blizzard
that
thing
was a total shock.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
But I'm stoked about that.
My tag is Captain Mount Sparrow. Rip.
Captain Cup holder on Sparrows.
Yeah, basically.
I already know, but starting out with PS4.
PC and PS4 on the side.
So first impression is you take a look at the city getting destroyed and new supers being used and all of these crazy things going on with new kind of Cabal enemies. It's hard to come up with words of shock, but it's definitely something where you can sit down and say this is the biggest stride forward Destiny has ever made.
The campaign initially, I thought they really ramped up the environmental changes, the weather, the sounds. It was very immersive. One of my commitments is taking people through raids and the endgame content, teaching them, because as they even said during their presentation, that's some of the best content in the game. And I like their commitment to streamlining more of the community getting to play that stuff, because it is, I believe, the best sort of experience you get in Destiny as a full fire team. So that's one of the things I'm committed to.
Just excited.
Just really happy, excited. We've been with the game for so long.
Cup holders, please.
Cup holders.
If anyone from Bungie watches this.
A koozie.
Jacuzzi.
No, we've been in the game for so long, and it's so nice to like grow with it and meet new people and embrace all these new fans to just enjoy the community, because we're awesome and it's amazing and huge.
We're awesome.
We're awesome. The Destiny community, you're awesome.
Thanks, Matt.
But yeah, the Destiny
That's
community
it.
is pretty awesome.
The one thing I don't know about yet, and that I'm still trying to sort of find out, I'm hoping for beards. Like, come on.
So that's what a few community members had to say about Destiny 2 and their impressions. We have more on the way. We're going to talk about a ton on the show today. We're going to talk about PS4 versus PC. We're going to talk about 30 versus 60. And we have 2 interviews with Bungie that we're going to roll a little bit later with some really exclusive info that you're going to want to stick around for. Dedicated servers, are we getting them, etc. CJ, you actually shot the community piece earlier today. Now, this is just a taste of what we're going to put up.
Yeah, we talked to so many people, and the issue when you're at one of these events is, especially when you're trying to engage and play the game and figure all these, all the info out. There's so many people. We got a chance to kind of just like say hi and bye in passing. So if we did get a chance to say hello to you, I really appreciate it. And for all the people that we didn't, we apologize. But we're gonna have another cut of the video later on Fireteam Chat in the next couple days, hopefully. So.
It's kind of weird at these Destiny things because like you see all the community members and we all kind of know each other because we stream and we'd make content, we watch each other's content, and it's like, oh, hey, Bife, hey, Miss 5,000 Watts, and whoever's around.
And the
Holtzman.
Holtzman. And that's the thing, even for me, like I've known a lot of these people because some of them submitted stuff for Fireteam Chat 100.
Yeah.
And so it was my first time actually meeting them in person. So that's super cool when you have this kind of community. And everybody is. They're just really nice. And I think legitimately everybody was super amped for this game.
Oh.
Like that's the piece of when you watch people's reaction, you're like, oh man, like it is cool to see people freaking out like over at the game. It was so awesome.
They all played over like 500 or 2,000 hours. So I'd say they're probably pretty hyped for a new version. But definitely, I mean, it was just cool to be around, that energy. But just to be able to play everything, go, go for it.
Yeah.
That's not normal in the industry to be like, here it is, and go play it all.
Yeah.
And so were you surprised? I mean, that's a question that we've always talked about in Fireteam Chat, what's going to be at this event and how much we're going to be able to do. Like, Destin, like, did you actually expect to be able to play as much as we did?
Not that much. I didn't think I was going to get to play PC, for example, and they're like, yeah, you know what? We have a spot for you. Go ahead. I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think I was going to see this till like E3 or something.
Yeah.
So that was really exciting for me, and I am not good on PC. So I am sorry, James Duggan, who's going to be carrying me through everything. But you're going to have to get used to it.
Yeah.
We are taking community questions also. We have a few right now that we're going to get to. You can just leave your comment in Twitch, YouTube, or on Twitter at IGN at Destin Legary, and we will pull those in. So the next one we have is from Seraph Dubstep. How do we get our powers back? And that is a good lead-in into the question about the overall narrative. Do you feel like they're going to get it right this time? Now, I brought up in the beginning of the show how I hope that they have Steam to continue this line of great gameplay, cutscenes, interactive moments. What do you guys think?
I think they've got that, but are you asking about the storyline itself as it's unfolding? I mean,
how are they going to keep up that pace? The bar is like, what we saw today, the bar is very high.
Yeah,
it is.
But I guess that's my point. That's two different questions for me. The pace is one thing, or like, do we feel like the story as it's unfolding is going to be cool?
Yeah.
So anyway, on the pace side, same concern. I mean, who's to say? We jumped in at a super heightened moment that we know is not the very beginning of the game. So it's hard to say. Maybe the beginning is more explosive, but we don't know that yet. And then, in terms of the narrative itself, what I really appreciated was it all made sense.
Yeah.
Like I knew there are these 3 really powerful beings that, I mean, I know a lot more about them being in the community, but if I'm dumbing it down, right, there's like these 3 powerful beings.
Yeah.
You're like with them and helping them as one of the people in the tower, and like this other powerful dude, the speaker left, it leaves a question, again, like a mystery, but then you get an idea that the traveler like is this all-powerful being that is giving you that light, and like, anyway, it's pretty simple, but it all makes sense. You don't get confused. Which in the first Destiny, a lot of it was like, what? Just like, Eris, like, is talking about the sword and the crystal that comes out of it from Oryx, and you're like, what?
You didn't really know. And to answer your question, Seraph Dubstep, about how do you get your powers back, we don't know. So to explain how these builds work is it's like a vertical slice of the game that we get to experience at these events. We don't know if it's edited. Like we've played these before at preview events, then we get the full version and there's a ton of different stuff in the middle. So we have these new powers. It's not really explained why or how we got them. And I think we're going to find that out more, or find that out closer to September 8th.
Yeah, we don't really know if you lose your powers before this moment or after. I'm pretty sure it's after, by the way, because the tower's under siege.
So how do we get these new abilities? Like, has time passed since the last? Like,
remember, you go play that version of the Crucible map, and then you get your power from that mission. Sorry, it's a Destiny 1 joke if you are following.
Yeah.
It. No, it's not going to be that. I think it's that. I'm excited to see that. Like
Oh,
getting
yeah.
the powers, Stormcaller, the third subclasses, etc., were really cool in Destiny.
Yes.
But it was like, it was basic. Yeah, they put you on like a Crucible map and changed the weather. And now, though, to see how they handle getting your power back, like it's going to feel awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So here's a question. I don't know if this ties into that a little bit. When you're talking about the intensity of the campaign, do you think strikes will kind of play a piece in that, where it's like, okay, now that you've done like so much of this campaign, now we're going to throw you on a couple strikes?
So during their presentation, they talked about all the different things that you can do in a patrol area or on a planet, and how there's no more loading screens. They address a lot of the problems with Destiny 1, that no going to orbit, then going into a
orbit.
thing. Yeah, no orbit. So like you go to this planet, and it just looks like there's a ton of stuff to do. There's public events and everything.
Actually, sorry, for clarification, meaning there are loading screens, and actually we don't know that there's not orbit.
I'm
They just said you
repeating
don't have
what
to.
they said.
Yeah.
So good call out, but
just want to be careful.
That's what they're conveying to us. They're saying that you're going to have this huge area to explore, and that actually kind of leans into that boy one. How big are the worlds? Well, we can tell you about what we experienced on the strike, but we don't know how big the actual worlds are going to be.
Right.
That strike seemed quite large.
Oh yeah, and the environment as you're going around, like that's what I mean. Like when you're looking out into
the draw distance,
and the environment, and what was happening in the machines that were in there, you're like,
that was cool actually.
That was really cool.
I will say that I downplayed that now that I think about it. You saw it in the trailer.
There's a big drill.
It's this drill, that's grinding
and I had
the
to
edges of this cliff.
Three times on the drill.
As did I.
Until the end, when they both died, and I had to pick them up. So the mission didn't end, and I popped Protheon and finished the mission. Savior. No. That was cool actually, because those drills are coming at you. And there's no it's not forgiving. You gotta look, and they're above and below you. It was a really cool mechanic. I kind of forgot about that actually. I would love to see more stuff like that in strikes. It was really fun.
It's cool to see a world element doing stuff that you have to avoid. Like anytime a game manages to do that, and it's just like technologically impressive. And also the strike should give us an idea of what we can experience from those open areas, and they look cool. There's tons of places to jump to apparently, because like I would have to look around, like where am I going next? Am I going over here? No. Can I jump to that? Oh, I can. Like it was figuring out this new space.
Yeah, we did that a few times. I remember thinking, we're looking around and you're not exactly sure where, and you're like, oh, can we jump that? And I remember it's in your gameplay.
When I jump below?
Yeah, and I was like, oh,
I'm
there's
going
a
below.
platform down here, and you're like,
we were getting shot out of those little air cannons, and you guys went over something. Anyway, I'm like, oh, there's a space underneath, and I actually was worried I was going to screw up the mission. But I was like, I'm going down below, and it was just, there's layers. Yes, definitely layers.
Yeah, multiple ways to approach the situation, and that's great, as opposed to just like linearity.
What'd you think of the boss sponge and fight itself? Like, I'm not going to say it was just a boss sponge. It was phased out, but it felt familiar in that sense, didn't it?
It definitely felt like we were fighting Atheon. To be honest, to me, it's a big
not within the
Vex
context
god.
of the raid.
Not how he works.
No.
Yeah.
But it's a big Vex guy, and he stomps you. But this one teleports all over the place. And he
kept changing his shield as he dropped layers, I think.
Yeah, it seemed like you were calling out that he was changing his damage type.
Sure. Yeah.
So I only saw him on Arc at the end. But
it seemed they used the same bag of tricks, is what I was getting at. And I enjoyed it, by the way. I just again, that's where.
Same bag of trips, but like we weren't very good on ad control, so ads were giving us a problem. When he got to that final phase, he got really tricky.
Good, but
terrible.
We're gonna check out the footage.
I was gonna say we're gonna play the footage.
Check out the Titan footage right now and see.
I'm the hunter. I think I remember leading the team, but I will say this: that the way that it does move. It felt like it has the ability maybe to have like raid type mechanics within like a 3-person strike. Like it felt not like a full raid, but there were moments there where you're like, oh, this is a new little area that I'm fighting a different version of the boss, and we went down a little deeper, and then there was different attributes to it. So I mean, it felt good. Like I really liked it a lot.
I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it a lot. Did they fix the problem? We don't know yet. I feel like it's better. It was this experience. It was definitely better than basically anything I experienced in Destiny 1 narrative-wise.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep that pace up throughout.
That's my big question.
And that's the same thing I'm going to keep saying. It's like, okay, I played it. You're probably going to have this build at E3 again. Yeah, it's still fantastic. Can you do that for let's say a 10-hour fantastic campaign.
Yeah.
You know, where you're leveling up your Guardian. By the way, we couldn't inspect any of our gear.
No.
It was disabled in this build, so
Yeah,
we
walked
don't
out.
know what that's going to look like. There were some new inventory item slots, like I wrote them down here. There's a dust of some sort.
There was the
and
ability.
we don't know what that is.
Something.
Yeah, and then there's an ability number that you can get. And it seems like when you dismantle your weapons, they go into like a weapon pack or
You
something.
dismantled a weapon?
No. There was an item on your menu called something, and I think it's going to be when you dismantle your weapons, it goes there. So they fixed a ton of problems for existing Guardians. My question has always been, will they be able to get those new Guardians into Destiny 2?
I think campaign is that Trojan horse, though, you know, and again, like that's what I thought was always missing. But now, like, if you just want to come in and play an awesome single-player campaign, you can. Now, well, is it awesome? We'll see. So far, it's awesome. And how long is it? Like we've been talking about. But I've talked to people about Call of Duty, like about that topic, and it always surprises me. There's a lot of people who actually do just play it for the single player, and I've always considered it such a PvP game. And then, you know, I think they start playing some PvP and other stuff out of that. So.
I'll tell you what they did not fix: Warlock sticky grenades.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
still there.
Well, but that's not true. They have nerfed
you get
them,
one.
and we talked to them a little bit, and they talked about adjusting that.
But it's weird because I remember specifically at that first part when I was the Warlock in the campaign. I went through the grenades. I was like, oh, sticky, and I just had to try it out. And I threw it kind of intentionally off like the Cabal guy a little bit.
Nailed them.
And I'm like, oh, and I was
This is
just
gonna be
like,
terrible in
okay.
trials.
I
But
know.
this is in
It's still
our
there.
our longer interview later as well. And I know, CG, you were far away. You
Yeah,
popped
that's
in
gonna
here.
be tomorrow,
They
probably.
talk about, you know, the split there and changing some things up with that. So
Yeah, so we actually have a great question from Beyond Belief, and he says, did the game overall feel the same to the first one? And my answer to that is, it felt pretty different. There's some core mechanics there. The shooting feels like shooting, but like my scout feels a lot slower.
Yeah,
and it's
heavy.
hard to make that determination, but I would say it's pretty different. Like,
Really?
Well, I mean, there's still the shooting, right? The shooting still feels right. The grenades feel the same. There's parts that feel the same, but that running at 30 in 4K on PS4 Pro and then playing it on PC and stuff, it does feel different. It feels like a different experience.
But that's different. I mean, are you comparing 30p Destiny 2 to 30p
Well, let's look at
Destiny
this.
1?
Okay, story mode right away, right?
Yeah.
That's totally different. 30p, that's totally fine. It's a great experience.
Yeah.
So 30p in Destiny 1, like, there's not really anything to compare it to. That's fantastic narrative. We have cutscenes and then missions that we go on. Cutscenes and missions that we go on. The cutscenes were great in like Taken King, for example, but nothing like this where a cutscene happens, then characters are actually
Real time.
with
Yes.
you in
Cinematic
real
action,
time, helping you defend against volleys of missiles and stuff like that. That stuff was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Like, it was
Especially
just
when
so
you say
cool
it
to
like
experience
that, coming at you.
Yeah, sound effects. I love that
No,
sound effect guy.
the
You know, what's his name again?
Yeah, I know. In the video, the
Yeah,
Binocs.
the sound is awesome. I don't know if we'll talk about that later, but
the firebolt
that's
grenade
just-
sound. Did you hear
The
it?
which one?
The firebolt grenade. The
Oh, really? No.
When you throw it, it's like it goes.
Nice.
And it like it sounds
You've
really
tuned
good.
into the sound effect show, everybody.
Yeah.
So, Fran, I want to know what you think. Do you think that the game feels the same as the first one? You seem to think no, or yes.
So for me, it's same song in a different key. And what I mean by that, right, is like it's all like the same. Like you would, and that was you were getting at earlier, I think, right, CJ? Like you hop right in, you know where everything is.
Yeah.
It feels the same in that sense. But I know what you're getting at, Destin, especially as someone who's put in 2,000 hours. There's these like changes. So if you've played that, like just enough of it, it's like the float of the jumps, the gun feel itself, the flinch and the recoil and like the HUDs and the new effects, the new particles, and like it all comes together in a way you're like, it is totally different, but it's the same is all I'm saying, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you think?
Well, and it's not bad. Like so. Let's
No,
preface
I hope
this-
the people don't think. I think it feels great.
Yeah,
by the way.
it does.
Campaign feels great.
Not bad, but it definitely feels a little
The
different.
float is more than
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing I would call I'm not sold on or not sure of yet. It was the Warlock was super floaty.
Well, there's a third
I
power
was
now
tripping.
that you activate by pressing and holding circle.
Yes.
And that's something that does not exist in
Yeah.
Destiny
Yeah.
1. So there's this whole new item that you need to learn to play with.
Yeah, and with at Shade Step Hunters, like that's where that
Do
felt
you
very
hold
familiar.
circle for Shade Step, or you double tap?
You double
still?
tap, right? So then it's weird where it's like even I don't know how to explain it. Like it's 30p, but the cadence of it just feels
It's more
a little
motion blur
different.
and
There's a little
effects.
more motion blur. There might be like some anti-aliasing. There's
They're
something
doing
that's
camera shake, and all kinds of stuff.
And
actually.
it's not bad. You notice it though, and I don't know how to really put like.
But as
my
someone who's
finger
played
on
it a ton, would you have even noticed otherwise?
But I think that's the issue because we've played Destiny 1 so much, and when you go in, you're just, your brain does just learn to adapt to what
the
happens.
color, period.
The color, the palette, like all that stuff. It starts to when it changes, and there's a few things from sound effects to the visuals and all that stuff. The way it kind of carries out, everybody said the same thing, and even for PvP, time to kill is a little longer, how you move is just a little bit different. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if people enjoy that change, and can you go back and forth between Destiny 1 and 2? I think the big thing I liked is at least the control scheme felt similar, and the aiming was good,
but your weapons are all moved around, you have this new power, your jump feels different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting, there's new moves.
For sure. So we're going to move on right now to a segment that we shot with Mark Noseworthy. Now, Mark Noseworthy is one of the leads on the project along with Luke Smith. Later in the show, we will have both of them with some great quotes. And Mark has some details for you about the game that you're going to be interested in, and I'll just let him speak for himself in this little segment we shot earlier in the day that I hope we're cutting to right now.
Welcome to a special episode of Fireteam Chat from the Destiny 2 event. Fran is joining me today, along with Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy, two leads on Destiny 2. Guys, you just had your big reveal. How do you feel?
Dude, we're tired. Straight up.
It's the end of the day, right?
It's been a long stretch here to get this done, and we are like we're getting run down.
I'm so done with waking up at 5 a.m. in a cold sweat like every day. Thinking, is it good enough? What are we gonna,
Well, you're gonna still. We're not. The game's not done.
I know.
So you're still waking
but maybe
up
I
at
can make it
5
to
a.m.
5:15 now or something. An extra, some beauty rest.
Yeah. So you've worked hard to get here, but like, what was your feeling from the crowd today? That's what people usually talk about after.
It was pretty inspiring. Like we were practicing yesterday, and we've been rehearsing for a while. And just small crowds or nobody. And you don't know, like, is this joke gonna land? Or like, we didn't know if would people applaud at anything, because sometimes these things are just, people are just like typing on their keyboards and it's really stoic and whatever. And then when people like cheered when like Zavala and Shax and whoever the third person was, like they're like a fire team in that, that first trailer, and they cheered at that, I was like, oh man, like people are into this.
It's the home team.
Yeah, they are digging what we are selling.
Yeah.
And so then, and it felt like, first we filled up the room, which was cool, and then just people were really excited. And I think the first tip was there were folks doing the wave before the event even started.
Yeah. That was
like I'd never seen anything like that before at an event like this.
So my Destiny 1 IGN clan, huge group on Bungie.net. What's going to happen in Destiny 2? Do I have to recreate that?
It's great. No one's asked this question today. Like which is really scary because maybe.
All right. Well, that was a little tease about the Mark and Luke interview that we're going to show at the end of the show. There is a ton of great stuff in there. Thanks to those guys for coming on the show and talking with us a little bit. Now, we also have an interview with just Mark Noseworthy, who we interviewed a little bit earlier in the day. And Fran, so you were talking a little bit about the campaign, and how you felt. I'm floundering.
No, it's okay. We're switching a lot live, by the way, after a 10-hour day, so forgive us.
So that's a tease. We're actually going to cut back to Mark Noseworthy now, and this is the interview that we meant to show. Okay. Stay tuned for the full.
It's awesome to play solo, but playing with other people's really, really amazing. So we wanted to give people an easy way to have other people to play with. We're doing that in Destiny 2 through clans. Every time you're playing, you log on and you're going to see this roster of other people that are just like you. Maybe someone's doing the Nightfall, maybe someone's doing the patrols, and you're just like, I'll go do patrols with that guy. And that's going to, I think, help just between players continue to have people engage and play longer. But we're also introducing clan rewards, and so this means that there are going to be challenges for each clan, and then if you guys accomplish those things, you're going to get rewards, right? And so you can get rewards just by participating passively as part of a clan, and that's going to help drive a bunch of player behavior and get people to like want to log in and play the game. We changed up the way the weapon slots work because we were trying to add more player choice, basically. The first slot is a kinetic slot, so these are weapons that shoot bullets and do damage to things. The second slot are energy weapons. These are your damage types, Void, Arc, Solar, and they take down shields faster. and they do more damage to shielded enemies. They also do more damage to other players in PvP who have their super enabled. And then the third slot is the power weapon slot. The key about the kinetic and energy slots, they contain the same weapons. Where in Destiny 1, your first slot was like only these specific archetypes. Now the archetypes of weapons that go into the first and second slot, kinetic and energy, are the same. So if you want to rock 2 hand cannons, one kinetic, another energy, you can totally do that now. We're trying to make more than a game here. We're trying to make a hobby. Something we want to play as like one of our preferred things to do when we kick back and relax after work. And that means that means really supporting the game, right? That means playing it out in the live as players ourselves. It means patching the game at a cadence that makes sense with the way the players are playing it. That means injections of new content periodically, like the expansions, like events, like Festival of the Lost, and doing that in a consistent, kind of predictable way. We're looking more about what we've done with Destiny, and like, hey, like we've had some successes there and maybe some missteps. How do we do that even better with Destiny 2? And we think we're really poised to deliver some incredible, sustained support for the game.
Guardian Town.
We try to make the best experience we can on every single console. First and foremost, Destiny's an action game, so it needs to feel good to play. Whether that's mouse or keyboard controls, whether that's playing with a controller on the PlayStation 4 or on Pro, we're trying to just deliver an amazing experience on each platform. PC is a platform that's scalable, so if you want to spend more money on hardware, the game can run better, right? And we're excited to support that for PC players. That's what they expect. A bunch of us are PC fans. That's what we want, right? You want to play the 21:9 monitor, or you want to play with a crazy FOV, or you want to hit all these graphics things, you want to turn them all down because you think it gives you an edge in PvP. Have at it. We've got all sorts of options there for players.
Excellent, but the charge is ticking. Defuse it.
Relax.
All right, we are back, everybody. That was our interview with Mark earlier today. Thank you so much for talking about stuff with us, Mark. You guys are throwing me off because you're changing chairs.
Wait, I thought it was out. CJ, go back to your chair.
Chat apparently wanted us to switch chairs every time we cut away.
Just once.
So,
it's that time of night, everybody.
Yeah,
that was Commander or something in chat, I believe.
We are at
hours and counting.
Yeah. So 16-hour day, 3 hours of sleep. We're having a good time though. We're really excited. And in the next, we are going to talk about 30 versus 60p, because everybody's talking about this. Does it matter? Well, I learned today, everybody, that CJ Gibson cannot play on PC worth a damn.
No, I can't.
You have no idea what you're doing.
I have no game whatsoever.
It was really, really interesting.
Wait, can I before we get into this topic, I do want to address chat just really fast if I can. Just, if you were really happy with today's reveal, type 1s in chat. If you are still wondering, type 2s. And if you were not happy, type 3. So no is a 3, yes a 1, and in between a 2. Curious what you were thinking in chat.
Yeah.
And I just want to throw
this
that
is a very scientific method. We actually have an algorithm at IGN where chat just gets spammed with a bunch of numbers.
Yeah, there we go.
Dude, going up 1s. There's some 3s. A lot of 1s.
We're going to count them for the rest of the
you, everybody
stream.
on Twitch.
We're going until 9:30. No, seriously. CJ, PC, you played it. It was foreign territory for you. You are not going to play on PC.
I mean, I will say this. I am not going to play on PC with a mouse and keyboard. Now, playing with a controller on PC, definitely.
Yeah.
And when you think of 60 frames and 30 frames for me, that is a huge difference. So I can't decide if I'm going to go my main for PC or if I'm going to go.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, if
PC.
I get a controller, no, because here's the thing. Obviously, people are going to gravitate towards Crucible on PvP. So there's a piece of me that wants to do that for that reason.
On
but
PC.
Have you ever played competitively with PvP on PC?
Well,
though?
of course I haven't, but that's what I'm saying. So I understand it's a different game. Stop
You know what
that.
PC stands for.
Stop that.
So I wanted to start with CJ because he is a strange example of somebody that does not want to play on PC. He wants to stay on console. Now for me,
Spreading rumors and lies.
For me, it was really interesting to play on this other platform at 60. Because I'm like, wow, like I gotta adjust my sensitivity of my mouse. I really gotta dial in with my controls. And I did okay, like not great, but
It doesn't feel like Destiny though.
yeah,
I
it
think
still
it
feels
totally
like
does.
Destiny. You know
Oh,
what? It
man.
reminded me of Overwatch, and maybe I'm making that correlation because of the Blizzard partnership with online
maybe.
play, by the way. But I mean,
But it is a
felt that way.
colorful, fast shooter. I mean, but it's not Overwatch.
No, it's not.
Not
of
at
course,
all.
it's not.
I know what you
Overwatch.
mean by that.
Yeah.
though. You like the fluidity of Overwatch.
It's a
is
fluid,
awesome.
colorful shooter that's
And-
running at 60 with 3 different class types that you can pick, and it's intense. Like we were doing the new multiplayer mode at 60 on PC. I know I'm going to say that repeatedly. But so we're running that, and it was really, really interesting.
And we should note, PC is uncapped. You know, they're not like
you can put it at 200 frames per second if you have dual 1080s.
Yeah, I do want to confirm. Actually, I went into the settings. It was just set at medium for what we were able to look at.
But 4K 60.
Yeah.
Lots.
Yeah. It was very smooth. But again, it's like uncapped settings, and so the more powerful you are, the better it's going to be. But I want to see it on higher settings. At 1080p. Actually, I'm very curious, like what enhancements they're doing. That's what I thought was interesting, and I didn't get to see the campaign. Did you, Destin?
It was running
on PC?
right. It was running right over there. It looked great.
But
no
did it look like a
slowdown.
bunch of new effects type thing, or just like a lot crisper? You know what I mean?
It looked crisper. All that stuff's running in 4K, so it looked fantastic on PC. I think PC players are going to be in for a real treat.
for sure.
Like
It's
they've
gonna
been
be
asking
huge
for
on
that
PC.
forever.
Yeah. For me, so as a console guy, again, I know I'm going to get flamed for this. I actually do like 30. I mean, it's a familiar territory for me. Now, the game, honestly, like it feels and looks great at 30. But from a competitive standpoint, I know that there's going to be the whole mouse, keyboard, controller thing is going to be a very, dividing scene.
If you
on
plug
PC.
in a controller on a PC and play against PC players, you're going to get stomped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, for that reason, so there's a lot of guys, like me, I know that are just, they're not going to adapt to a mouse and keyboard at this phase. And so for me, I'm going to enjoy trying to play on PC, and I'm going to give it a shot. But I know that ultimately I'll be playing on PS4, and it'll be good.
Yeah,
It'll be classic Destiny still.
Yeah, it's a bummer Duggan wasn't here to get a look at it. It's we realize, by the way, there's a ton of PC fans out there in the audience probably. Yeah. And we do play like a little
I'm on
PC,
that
but
side.
we're just
It
not.
looks great.
But what I'm saying is we don't play PC religiously today, and so meaning we don't want to. I just don't want to misrepresent. I think PC is super exciting. Sorry though that we're not I saw Lupo over there who plays with mouse and keyboard
on
and
console.
then he plays Overwatch and stuff, and seeing him move over. By the way, they had a mini tournament going already by the end of the day. You can see where PC's going.
Yeah.
I didn't see that happen over on the console side.
No.
So that to me is a very clear indicator of what we thought. The competitive players are going to move in force to PC. Not that it won't be competitive on
Competitive
PS4,
players who
but-
want to play on PC.
and Xbox and everything. Sorry,
Yeah.
I play on PS4. I'm not.
Well,
forgetting about
Lupo
Xbox.
plays on keyboard and mouse, right?
Yeah.
On Xbox.
Yeah,
right
these
now.
things have been dying. Well, we talked to him. He's been waiting for this and dying to see it. And his comment was man, now I got to go back and play Destiny 1 for now, and it's going to be really weird.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that,
amazing.
so we play at 60 on PC, then we go over and we play the consoles at 30. It was jarring.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, it feels slow.
Yeah.
And I'm just man, I might have to make the switch.
Yeah.
I might have to a game might finally push me over the ledge and make me play exclusively on PC.
Yeah. PvP, I would love to play there. It is intense though. Yeah, aim assist is no longer there really, and it's different. But it's really exciting. But I will say, and I know you were talking about this earlier, PvE, I would happily play at 30 frames, totally decked out if there was a bunch of graphical improvements. Otherwise, 60 is fine. But meaning, I can appreciate playing PvE at 30 is fine by me. I haven't, so far anyway, I haven't felt like I need that crazy uncapped frame rate for PvE. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but for PvP, yeah, it's a huge difference going back, obviously, just to the
Uncapped, I'm so, but 60 locked.
That's what I mean. Whatever you want.
60 locked at 4K, wow.
Yeah.
Running 4K 30 on your TV, all right, I guess I got to buy a Scorpio and a PS4 Pro and a TV.
And I have, it brings up an interesting point. I have a 4K TV finally, and it's gotten me into that oh man, I can't wait to play and see more stuff on it. And now I have my PS4 stuff pre-ordered and everything, and actually I guess it outputs at 4K, so it'll be nice to have that upgrade, but still true, let's call it high-end 4K. Well, you could hook a PC up, it'd be amazing. And then, like I said, Scorpio, I don't know, man. Be very curious to see.
I think the
It
only
was really good.
The only thing that you're forgetting, and maybe this is something that I guess we'll see what happens, is where's the community going? Because right now, again, we have a lot of people who play on PS4, and obviously, if you play on Xbox, you're gonna have
My
your
whole
friend
raid
there.
team, they're like, we're staying PS4.
Brian Malkowitz, he's right back there switching. He said the same thing.
He's going Scorpio, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
And I
no
tried
thumbs
to
up.
entice him to, I said, you're gonna do PS4 Pro? He's like, nah, man, my crew, I can't abandon them. So I think that's gonna weigh still heavily into people playing it. I mean, let's face it, I am not a competitive PvP player. When you see the competitive guys, says this guy, stop that. But there's a difference between the skill gap. We talked about that. You can feel the difference between somebody who's got a 0.5 KD, a 1, a 2, a 3, and once that starts happening, you're going to see a lot of people gravitate towards, I'm at this KD, I'm going to go to PC, and that's
what if they
gonna
do,
be what I do.
Tiered play and everything like they do with Overwatch on Battle.net, and like that would be
with
interesting.
Yeah.
I want to do another chat experiment very, very
my
fast again.
goodness.
If you're fine with 30 and not worried about it, type 30. If you're 60 or above, type 60. I want to see what chat lights up with. By the way, a ton of ones in chat earlier. This was in Twitch chat anyway. Seems like people were pretty happy with the demo today. There were some 3s though, and a few 2s, but overwhelmingly like a ton of 1s.
Well, I think the people watching are the hardcore Destiny fans who are really interested in Destiny 2, for example, right? I get 60, right? 30?
30.
No, I'm seeing
There's like an even mix.
No,
30,
there's a ton of 144s, 165. There is actually a lot of 30s.
So it's pretty balanced.
Nice job, win for win with the 420. Good job, everybody.
That is a reference.
It's
Stop it.
Is it?
What hour are we?
But no, you know what? It's funny to see. It's a split thing in chat, and like I think that's what we're representing a little too. Like, of course, 60 is call it better technologically.
I'm torn. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, but it's great that they're doing it. But you got to be on a PC, and a lot of people only have that set up in a corner of their home or office, and like some people want to kick it back on the couch and like don't have that type of setup. And it's just
the thing is,
there's nothing wrong with either one, by the way. And I think
No,
that's
of
the
course
important
not.
part.
Yeah, they
none
look
is
great.
worse. Like
Yeah.
we've been playing 30 frames Destiny forever, and I love it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
PvP especially. I've learned to be a PvP player in that experience, which is really surprising. But I'm just as excited to try 60.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like with PC, you can put it whatever you want. Hey, lock it at 30 on PC. You're done. Problem solved.
It's you can see though. There's a lot of PC
There's
fans
a
who
lot
are
more
like,
30s
Of course.
than I
they're in
thought.
there telling you it's not okay. It is.
What's not okay?
It's meaning they're not saying that.
Oh,
I get
they're
the
joking
vibe
around.
that some people are just like, why would you? I just saw it. Why would you play a shooter at 30? And it's like, it's nothing wrong with it, man.
Some people like
yeah.
campaign
But-
stuff with a more cinematic feel.
Yeah.
So
But
you lock
is
it
it-
at 30. It's closer to that 24 movie feel.
Yeah, but it
for
is.
a game.
But I
like,
think the argument to make, and
like look at Uncharted. They gave you the option, or sorry, Last of Us did it first, I think. They gave you the option, do you want to play at 30 or 60?
Yeah.
And people chose.
But what we can agree on, and I know this is where it's coming from, it's more precise, of course, at a higher frame rate and a mouse. Like, yes, a shooter and the precision of it, but that doesn't make it wrong to play it in the other format. And as you adapt to it, too, your brain does adapt to that feel that you're still landing your hits. And I mean, granted, there's some aim assist in there, but like, it's okay, it's fun. That's all that matters.
I think that's going to be the bigger issue, is if you plan to go back and forth between the two. Like, if you're just going to be locked onto one platform, if you're PC, you're not going to care. If you're on PlayStation 4 or Xbox at 30, you're not going to care. And for me, again, like, I'm glad that there's a couple 30s there. I was kind of, when you said that, I was like, oh, no, this is not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I do enjoy 30, and so regardless of how much I get flamed for that, it's a familiarity, it's a comfort.
It's not your fault.
So I need an intervention. You see my vault lately? Have you seen my vault? But yeah, so from that standpoint, for me, I'm not upset that consoles are 30 at all. I kind of expected that.
Yeah.
But you're going to try PC out.
Definitely.
You're going to learn how to use a keyboard and mouse.
No.
You're just going to plug in the controller?
I think I'm going to plug in the controller, yeah.
And you're going to go into competitive play?
I'm going to try doing PvP.
All right.
Because
you never know. I mean,
it might. So I mean, that's the test, right? Like, and I think that I could try keyboard and mouse, but I did that so long ago that it's kind of out of my DNA. Like, I mean, I played the earlier.
You just got to get used to it again.
I know.
Don't write it off.
No, I know. I'm not saying completely. I will give it a shot, but I have a feeling I'm going to want to try the controller on PC and see how it feels.
But I think we can all agree it's a beautiful experience on PC. It's not like a weird port and there's weird like what's going. It's like, wow, it's exactly what you saw, but higher res, slick, fast, it's very fluid, and they talked about that as well in our interview. Just the work they're doing to make sure all the key mapping and the special stuff that comes with PC is going to be in there. Vicarious Visions is helping out with that process, but it was something they started before.
Definitely. So I think that kind of wraps up our PC versus PS4 or 30 versus 60 chat.
PC Master Race argument.
Scorpio's still going to come into the mix at a later date. I am completely torn about what platform I'm going to play on.
I got my pre-order now, and I'm like, well, I was going to get PC anyway, but I will say, like, I know that we're not sure, and I keep bringing it up, but if Scorpio came out at, like, it's a console 60 experience, wow, wouldn't that be a real
30.
zinger?
I'm 90% sure they said it's 30.
I heard it differently, I guess. But yeah, this has been, again, a 12-hour day. So I was going to say the exclusives, though, on PlayStation, you know, we didn't get to see any of that or whatever that we know of, but that's obviously still very important to a lot of players out there, and if you want that exclusive
content.
And we don't know where that begins and ends. Like, I don't think I've seen, like, that you're going to have exclusive exotics and stuff for sure, right? But they will.
They didn't talk about that. They said they love their partnership with Sony and everything. Of course
Yeah,
they
they
do.
do.
But they can't talk about Scorpio and what's going on with the Xbox. Hopefully we get some news at E3 about what's going on there. I mean, I hope we get the Scorpio.
Let me call
at
Phil
E3.
Spencer right now.
Yeah,
I think
give
I have
him a quick call.
Phil?
But that is
60.
that is a piece of the puzzle that has not been figured out yet.
Solve it, Destin.
No.
It's a piece of the puzzle that hasn't been solved yet for...
He's buying time for our next segment, everybody. What is our next segment, Destin? Tell me about it.
Okay. The game, the different platforms, the Scorpio. Anyway, our next segment is our interview. It's a 5-minute cut of a 45-minute interview we had with Mark Noseworthy and Luke Smith, and we have some really, really great stuff in here. They address dedicated servers. They talk about the PS4 Pro and what it can handle, and some other stuff. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it, and it's coming up right now. Welcome to a special episode of Fireteam Chat from the Destiny 2 event. Fran is joining me today, along with Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy, 2 leads on Destiny 2. Guys, you just had your big reveal. How do you feel?
Dude, we're tired. Straight up.
It's the end of the day, right?
It's been a long stretch here to get this done, and we are like we're getting run down.
I'm so done with waking up at 5 a.m. in a cold sweat like every day. Thinking, is it good enough? What are we gonna, you know?
Well, you're gonna still. We're not. The game's not done.
I know.
So you're still waking
but maybe
up
I
at
can make it
5
to 5:15 now or something. An extra,
So
some beauty rest.
Yeah. So you've worked hard to get here, but like, what was your feeling from the crowd today? You know, that's what people usually talk about after.
It was pretty inspiring. Like we were practicing yesterday, and we've been rehearsing for a while. And it's small crowds or nobody, and you don't know, like, is this joke gonna land, or like we didn't know if would people applaud at anything, you know, because sometimes these things are just people are just like typing on their keyboards and it's really stoic and whatever. And then when people like cheered when like Zavala and Shax and whoever the third person was, like they're like a fire team in that that first trailer, and they cheered at that, I was like, oh man, like people are into this.
It's the home team.
Yeah, they are digging what we are selling.
Yeah,
you know? And so then, and it felt like, first we filled up the room, which was cool, and then just people were really excited. And I think the first tip was there were folks doing the wave before the event even started.
Yeah.
Like I'd never seen anything like that before at an event like this.
So my Destiny 1 IGN clan, huge group on Bungie.net. What's going to happen in Destiny 2? Do I have to recreate that? Am I starting over?
It's great. No one's asked this question today. Like which is really scary because maybe it means people don't have clans they care about.
Yeah.
But really good because the answer is we're preserving your clan.
Thank God.
Yeah. But the existing group continues.
You will not have to recreate it.
So what about that limitation? Because it's like it's either 75 per platform or 150 per platform. I never figured out the math. But what happens there? Are those being expanded?
I'm not sure. We'd have to ask Emmy what the exact limitation is. But what we don't want to do is incentivize clans to grow so big they're like unwieldy masses. Yeah. We basically think of the importance of clans is about giving you a group of active players who are available. We have some numbers and what we think that should be. The progression systems will try to get you an active group of players. But if you have X players today, I believe you'll be able to have up to X players.
An important clarification there, though. So you were touting PS4 Pro today. We know Scorpio's coming. Will it run at 60 frames per second on those consoles?
So we have no announcements about Scorpio today. We're not talking about that yet. But the Pro was here, and it was running in 4K and looks great.
That was running 4K today.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
It will not run at 60.
Okay.
On the Pro.
Yeah.
I don't want people to like continue to hope or anything like that. Just we're gonna be matter of fact about something like this.
Got it.
That's fantastic.
Why did you make that decision? You're like, we're going to lock it at 4K 30 max on consoles. Is it just like you don't want to push the consoles too hard, or why do you make that choice?
So, I mean, I can wade into this and you can flesh it out. Like the console, like the PS4 Pro is super powerful, but it couldn't run our game at 16. Like the way that like our games is rich physics simulation with collision of players, networking, etc. And like it wouldn't run.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Not enough horsepower there.
But there's tons of GPU power in the PS4 Pro, and that's why we're doing 4K, right? Like, it's on the CPU side. Like, Destiny simulation, we have more AI to shoot, more monsters in an environment with physically simulated vehicles and characters and projectiles. You know, it's part of the Destiny magic, like that. Like 30 seconds of fun of coming around a corner, throwing a grenade, popping a guy in the head, and then you add like 5, 6, 7 other players in a public event. That is incredibly intensive for hardware, right?
Crucible Tech, specifically Trials of Osiris. You guys know that is like one of your premier multiplayer modes. Are we getting dedicated servers?
We are not getting dedicated servers.
Rip the dream. Why?
It's just not an investment that we made for Destiny 2. Like I understand there's certainly desire for it, but you know the smaller team format, although it's one bigger in the Trials case for sure here. The smaller team formats in general, easier for us to find tighter matches, and we're also going to rechange the parameters for matchmaking to refocus on connection quality instead of like Trials win matching, or we're gonna change a bunch of the parameters to focus on giving people better networking experiences.
And is Trials there at launch?
We're not really talking about you know, we don't want to go into too much detail on Trials. We got some cool stuff planned for Trials that we're going to unveil later this year, and so we don't want to give away too much.
I love Trials. I think Trials of Osiris is one of the coolest things in Destiny.
Although he can no longer make it to the lighthouse, and that's why all the rules are changing. But yeah, continue.
I can't imagine shipping Destiny 2 and not having a Trials-like experience there very soon. Very soon.
I mean, the first DLC.
By the way, that was good.
Launch window.
Does launch window include the Osiris DLC?
Way before that.
Great. All right.
Awesome.
All right. So, guys, we have a tradition at the end of the show. We always point and say Guardians out. Are you down to do it?
Sure. Which one do we point at?
So, until next time, everybody.
Guardians out.
All right, we're back. I hope you guys enjoyed that segment. A lot of juicy details. That is 5 minutes of a 45-minute interview that we did with those two guys. And thank you so much to Mark and Luke and Genevieve and Drew and everybody that helped make that happen. We really, really appreciate it. And as for you, chat, I just want to say, I saw a lot of your comments to CJ about not playing on PC. I just want to say thank you. Somebody needed to say it. And I'm glad it was you.
Chat's being so nice to me.
Thank you so much.
Chat's being
it's well deserved
super
and really
nice.
I play on PC, CJ.
All right, whatever.
Played Overwatch on PC?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
True.
That's fair.
Yeah.
How many hours?
So keep it coming.
Oh,
keep it
no.
coming.
Okay,
directed at him.
Fine. That's
No,
fair.
you wanted to address it.
I'm super old. That's fine. That's the reason why. Won't go to hell.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
It does. I cannot get rid of my controller. I didn't say I'm not going to try mouse
I'm
and
old,
keyboard.
so I haven't played the original platform games for
No!
You know when like somebody walks out
You're
of
digging a hole.
You know, like an
I'm
awkward
buying you a shovel.
conversation and you like creep out the back.
I'm
Like this is what I'm trying to do.
I
if
will
can get out of
try
this.
mouse and keyboard, but yes, the flames are well deserved, and I am gonna still try the controller just to see, maybe.
He's the video producer. He's used to 24p.
Move
True. Sick
He'll
burn.
get there on PC
That's
someday.
good. That's
Pretty
good.
So we are by the way having all this fun while probably everyone's like, what? No dedicated servers? They just came out and said
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's talk Trials. No dedicated servers. You were
Yep.
telling me something about some weird text research you did about the delay, and
Oh.
dedicated servers would have improved that.
Yes.
And also Trials of Osiris coming, it seems like before the first DLC drop.
Maybe. So I mean, and let's just get it right off. 4v4.
Yeah.
For everything.
Big change.
4v4
So
for
and
everything. No vehicles. So we were talking about predictions of what's is there going to be big team battles? Is there going to be a lot of different references to all these kind of different game modes? It's 4v4 at least right now. Could they make it bigger game numbers in the future? You know, who knows? But right now, 3v3 is not a thing for trials, or that we know of. It's going to be 4v4. I think a lot of people are actually really excited about this, though. Now, you were talking really briefly with me about the fact that, you know, you thought it was kind of interesting to take that equation out only because you enjoyed trials at 3v3.
Well, it's tough as 3v3, meaning, you know, if one person goes down, I mean, it's just math. Like, 33% of your team is down, and then 66%, meaning last man standing happens faster.
Yep.
And so it just changes. It's just the idea of going, it happens all the time. You go 2 and then a 1, maybe.
Yeah.
But now you can very easily go 2 and 2s, and it really just changes things. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. I think it's probably the right move because Trials is brutal.
Well, and the competitive scene likes 4v4. Like, that's the way people like to play. Like, they do map control. It's just a little bit, it's more familiar, too. I mean, you know, Halo, Team Slayer has long been, you know, a 4v4 type game.
Well, now 2 people can carry me
it's
through
not
trials.
new to Bungie, by the way.
It's going to be great.
That's
right.
Get ready, you
All the
guys.
merrier. But that was a very bold statement that they literally, right out of the gate, oh, and by the way, it's 4v4, and that's it. I was super
4v4
surprised by
for
that.
all Crucible modes.
Yes, all modes.
Yeah.
That really surprised me.
How's
they
that
said
going to
at the
impact
beginning.
control?
I mean,
that's what
a
I'm
really
wondering.
good
You
point.
have, like, right now, control is 3 points on the map. Does it become 2? Do you try and overtake the other point? It's going to be really interesting.
They talk about in our longer interview, right? They're trying to really build the map around the mode. You know, obviously they'll double down where they can, but they talked about the map we played today with Countdown. They're like, that was designed for Countdown, you know, around Countdown. So, you know, I don't know if I wanted to ask about Trials I didn't get to, but will there be like Trials maps? Maybe not, because everything's sort of built for 4v4
ones
in
that
general.
cater to it.
But meaning, like, Control has these drop points, and so, you know, I
Well,
think
like right now, we don't get vehicle maps for Trials, for example. Like,
Right.
that's not going to happen. So,
God, I hope
like
not.
in Destiny 1, that's kind of how they handled it. There will be maps that only work specifically for Trials, and others won't be included in the rotation.
Yep. But
I
yeah,
mean,
like,
well, okay, I don't know that. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
of course that's what they're going to do. It just seems obvious to me.
Yeah.
From a 4v4 standpoint, though, I mean, I thought that, I think we said this on the show before, 3v3 initially seemed odd. I mean, they did that for the strikes. Like, so that makes sense for the strikes. But for PvP, I think it does make sense. And, you know, it will allow them to build really, really balanced, focused maps for competitive people. And again, depending on the game mode, it'll obviously work really well for regular people just going into Crucible as well. So.
Definitely. So you wanted to talk about the new mode, actually. What was it called again?
Countdown is
I
what
keep
it's
forgetting
called.
the name of it. Countdown.
Yeah, well, it's a brand new mode.
So it's like
just-
you have to plant a bomb and you have to defend your bomb points. There's 2 points. There's one really near where you spawn, and there's one sort of in the other person's spawn.
Yeah.
Or
That's
sort
kind of
near
it.
the
There's
middle.
one kind of close to you, or you can go
Yeah.
far and try
Yeah.
to take the one closer to them.
Yeah.
That was just in the one map we played.
And
It could
it's
be-
sort of similar to Trials in that you can kill the whole other team, problem solved, you're good.
yeah, once
Or-
the whole team's down, they're out.
Yeah, they can kill you, problem solved, it's good to go. If they plant a bomb, it adds another element. So they've got a bomb planted, it forces you to push to that point and disarm it before it blows up and they win.
Yep.
So there's a lot of mechanics going on in there. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but the map that we played on, there are so many points you can get flanked from. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
everywhere. There's
Yeah.
no good place to hide. If you get that pressure of having to detonate that bomb, you have to move into those close quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you don't know the map of a game, too.
Yeah,
like,
that was the other
Yeah,
issue.
when you're coming into it fresh like that, that's one of those things where when you learn the map, it's a different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
So to actually say any kind of assessment on this mode is super difficult.
Yeah.
Like, for that reason alone, you
really
thought
hope.
you were blocked off and you weren't. So.
I really hope we're not showing the Warlock gameplay, because I did terrible.
Yeah.
yeah. We
Is the
are.
producer saying we are?
Yeah, we totally are. So I am sorry.
Accurate.
I am sorry, everybody. I was learning a class I don't play as in Crucible normally. I want my hunter.
It could have been my
hunter
footage,
safety net.
which maybe is better. I don't know. Yeah. It was
You're
fun,
doing
though.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I got Warlock after
Oh, okay.
all.
Cool.
I didn't get to play Hunter or Titan, unfortunately, but at least I've played plenty of Warlock. But yeah, I really dig the Countdown mode. I think it's instantly, like, it's an addition. I'm like, that's a great ad. It feels right. It seemed like everybody was having fun. The rounds go for a while the way it's designed right now.
Yeah,
which-
so right now it's
that-
5v5, and then the first person to get the 6th win. And a lot of them went to 5-5, and then to the final match, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a long mode currently in its current state.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want a long multiplayer experience.
Yeah.
Well, what
I
did you
mean,
guys think? You didn't really tell me, like, do you like the detonation mechanic? Did you have fun playing the mode?
I did, yeah. Like it definitely, yeah, it splits you up sometimes because like you're trying to like protect someone, but at the same time, like the bomb's gonna go off or you need to protect someone. And we didn't have mic communication though, which I think really is
That's
big.
the issue.
Yeah, you just can't play a
100%.
game like, you can, but
No.
like for this mode, like I wanted to be rezzed. And it's funny, it brought back my, the one thing in For Honor I really like is there's a button that's like res me by point whatever.
Yeah.
Which I think would be an awesome addition, by the way, to Destiny for these modes where you have res. But anyway, without a mic, and like CJ said, it's too early to judge. And we were also just spinning from the whole day. But in general, the mechanics are there. It felt good. But like, you have so much to process in a new day, like new loadouts, new weapons. There's these power,
The subclass trees are really interesting. We had a question about that earlier, but it's like it's one subclass. It's not like, and then you unlock other pieces of it, and then you can mess around with your build.
The design of that in there actually looked really nice. Like the way they presented it, like, and it felt a little bit more coherent. Like in the current Destiny one, it makes sense when you understand
I've
what's
switched
happening,
weapons in the
but-
footage, and I do a little better for the first round.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows.
You're really, Destin's feeling really insecure.
Really
about it.
self-conscious. I know it's rough gameplay.
But so for me, it's not like I didn't enjoy the mode, but when you can't talk to your teammates and you find yourself, you're kind of going this way, and then I look and there's three teammates going this way, and I'm like, I'm just gonna turn around and join them. But then like the bomb's being planted here, and you're like, no, well, I gotta make it
communication
over here.
would change it a ton.
Yeah, and I do still think that the supers are going to play an important role in that as well too, because how you get your super and when you can use it and all that other stuff. I actually didn't end up killing I think it was a warlock with my golden gun, and I hit him direct. I had to shoot him two or three.
No, it is not a finished game too.
Was his super activated?
Yeah, his super's activated.
Interesting.
Yeah, so and it seemed like I got more than 3 shots with my golden gun. I think there was a meter, and you shot until it was gone. Actually.
So we should talk. There's some subtle changes going on now. This is when we don't know that balance, but I can relate. I freaking shot a rocket at the Dawnblade, and I was like, here we go again, Sunbreakers, because they were just like, whoosh, and I like rocket, and they're like, never mind, like doesn't matter. So I was like, what? Like I thought I was putting it down, and then I was like, I didn't make it out alive. So I think there's maybe some balance still going on there, or who knows? It might not be intended to work that way.
Well, maybe your super is like it's a super. You're, you're maybe more invincible.
Could be.
You have a whole bunch of
Titan's
health.
ridiculous because he can jump all over the place
With
with
Fists
one
of
of his
Havoc?
loadouts. Yeah, Fist of Havoc is different.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, you
you
can
can
move.
slam with your heavies, or you can kind of teleport back and forth and side to side and really traverse the map.
Was Golden Gun changed very much though? It didn't look like it.
No, except for the fact
can
that
shade.
it felt like you can shade, but it felt like the gun was not just 3 shots and it's out. Like I remember shooting it 4, maybe 5
really?
times. Yeah, so it's almost like a meter, like a regular super, and you just use it until
It's a little like
gone.
Storm Trance and stuff, where like you can monitor your energy a little better.
Yeah.
So I panic super with my Warlock actually that people are probably seeing, and I'm like, oh, I'm really low on
Dawnblade?
health. I'm really low on health, but I have Dawnblade. I'll pop it. My health will start regenerating. That does not happen anymore.
No, there's
I got one hit with a knife. I was really mad.
Yeah, so
but you're probably watching it right now.
Yeah, there's a few. So that's where there's the subclass tree for the supers now.
Yeah.
With Dawnblade, there was one where killing enemies extends Dawnblade, and also I believe there was one where you could regen health by something. Maybe it was slamming down to the ground like that, your recovery move that you can program. But what I want to point out, there's a lot of these subtle changes that we haven't gotten a hold of. Also, time to kill. It seemed longer, and I think they confirmed it, right?
Longer.
So like time to kill's longer, which really changes the game. Like again, it's same music, different key for me. Like it felt very similar, but like with all the loadouts, it's different game for sure that you're gonna have to adapt to. So I'm excited to play more. And something else we talk about in more detail, but like they have like people were talking about it at the event, but you can hear footsteps in PvP.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so they talk about
sound design is different in PvP. It changes the game.
Yeah. So they've really put a lot of thought into
it. Will. Yeah.
But again, more details in our longer interview that we'll have up. I don't know if we know when it goes up. It'll be on Fireteam Chat.
I'm gonna have it up
on
tomorrow.
YouTube. Awesome.
I'm going to stay up all night working on that. So go to youtube.com/fireteamchat. We should have our content roll out throughout the day tomorrow.
Committed.
Definitely going to have that interview out. It's really important to me. So,
Actually, it's a very quick call. It's on that actually. So if you're watching us on IGN, you should know obviously we have youtube.com/fireteamchat, Twitter/fireteamchat. We're over live on Twitch. We should call it our Twitters. Destin, where do we find you?
Yeah. twitter.com/@DestinLegarie, and I stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. on twitch.tv/The Destin Channel, and I actually mirror that to Fireteam Chat, and Fran, you often do also.
Same, yeah, I'm Twitch TV FM3, and I also mirror that. CJ has also been streaming lately, right?
Trying. I am Twitch,
Video guy,
the video guy TV, yeah, but then at Gibson Films on Twitter.
Yeah.
And Destin, you want to give out your personal cell phone number there?
Yeah, exactly.
Now
Now's the
call
time.
you for.
But back to the show. But yeah, no, thank everyone for your support. And
Yeah.
just, if you want that interview tomorrow, though, check out IGN, and we have Fireteam Chat listed there, as well as just everywhere, really.
Before we move on with this, which weapon did you gravitate towards using in PvP?
That's a
great question.
I tried Pulse. I liked it.
Yes.
But I switched to Scout, and the rate of fire was just too low on it.
It's low,
like,
man.
I'm
It's
so
low.
used to mine. It's like pop, pop,
Yep.
pop. And I'm like, I can't do anything with
I
this.
know.
You have to be more accurate with it, though, and I think that's purposeful game design.
Yep.
So with the Pulse, however, you can still get those body shots in and get that DPS in, and you still get a decent amount of range there. It's going to be really interesting to see how play styles change up. The sidearm's still great.
Yep.
Sidearm is still going to be used a lot, I think. in
Did you use a
Crucible.
submachine gun?
I did use a submachine gun. I didn't do very well with it, though.
You gotta be
It's-
at the right distance. It
That's right.
melts.
Yeah, it melts when you're close,
it's
but you have to
super
get in.
inaccurate.
And when everybody else is using range stuff, I don't know if it's a good play.
It's practically sidearm distance. Like, it's
Yeah.
a little farther maybe, but it wrecks when you're at the right distance.
But this is the beauty of their new sort of system, is that you can have, your scout rifle, pulse rifle for range, and then you can have your submachine gun at close, and you
Well,
can just be like
one of those and then the submachine.
Yeah,
Just to
exactly.
be clear, yeah.
Right. So, but I think that's where, once you figure some of those things out, you're gonna go like, yes,
Totally.
this will change how the game is played.
Because of the way Countdown was laid out, I ended up going, let's see, I did Scout and Hand Cannon.
Yeah.
Because I wanted like really high impact, like at close, like take someone down, and mid distance, and then super far to have that Scout. And then I actually put grenade launcher on.
Grenade launchers are cool.
Which is really neat,
Yeah.
but when people were in the room, like, or just anywhere in the vicinity, like popping it,
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
always instant kill, but it felt like the right loadout. But I did play submachine guns. I played Pulse. Pulse feels great. Actually, autos feel quite good too.
Yeah.
So it's like so early,
Yeah, I
like
need more
again,
time
there's
with it. I need more time with it.
yeah. There's just like stuff that like you were getting at, like you'd try it, you'd think you'd kill someone and you don't. I had other
it was not.
instance, by the way, where I don't know if it was a burn or actually like some kind of lag or delay going on, but like I had shot and sent a nade out, but I swear that it was already all done and then it would show up on the map. So I think they're working a lot out. It's too early to say, but it feels good. Countdown was fun, man. I can't wait to just try a traditional mode though, like Control.
Oh,
and
yeah.
see how that feels.
I want to see how the old modes translate over.
Yep.
Fran, was there anything else you want to talk about today?
I think we could go on and on, Destin. But
We want to see raids.
Oh yeah, actually
Right,
we
yeah.
should just talk. Let's talk a little bit because I don't, we scheduled this for a few hours.
Yeah.
We're going an hour and a half, but like we have a lot more to talk about. But I did want to talk about, raids we didn't get to see. There's
A lot of
glimpses of
questions
it.
about. Oh, sorry. A lot of questions in chat about the beta. For Brian was asking. We know it's the summer. That's all we know.
That's all we know is it's summer right now.
Yeah.
So.
But raids, we would really, really like to see them, but no footage, no indication that we're going to anytime soon.
Yeah,
I think they keep those pretty close to the chest. Usually they'll do a teaser at best.
Yeah, I mean, we know traditionally like raids, they kind of want to wait and show it to you at launch. So with any luck, IGN can get its hands on some footage before launch, just like a glimpse of it. That would be my hope, is to twist their arms for just
raids?
a little bit. Yeah,
I kind of don't want to spoil it for people though. I mean,
just a little bit. I want to see inside.
like a teaser trailer.
Didn't we do that for IGN first for Destiny?
They have never released footage.
Oh, we've
of
never
raids
got it
early.
at all.
Never.
Oh yeah,
No.
you're right. So
Yeah.
very unlikely. I
It's
guess.
very close to their chest, and like they want people to like people like you. When a raid comes out, you're like, I don't want to see anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Essentially,
Hypocrite
they would
offline.
be ruining that surprise for people, and I don't.
Just to see
I would,
a little bit. Yeah, you're right. I'm just.
They do
thirsty.
teasers sometimes, like they did for Wrath of the Machine. They
Yeah.
showed like the cut scenes where like the characters enter and such.
Yeah, they usually show that. It looked like they were showing maybe a little bit when they mentioned the raid.
They might have. They might have. I'd have to watch the whole presentation again.
They timed something with raids that looks like it could be.
Yeah.
But there was that, but then it was like the idea of, which we're just not clear on, but there's like campaign, and there's strikes, and then there's adventures that pop up on the map, and then there's these things called lost sectors, and like in my mind, I'm still like very old school Destiny, I think, where it's like, well, you're in a campaign, and then you have to go off to orbit and then enter this strike, but it sounds like they're trying to get it closer to like this adventure thing pops up, that you have this adventure now wherever you were in your campaign.
On a map.
Yeah, on a map. So
Which
where
was
your
cool.
location is in the campaign or something, it's going to pop up. And then maybe there's this lost sector to explore. And so I get thinking a little bit like, it's funny, we were talking about that on Fireteam Chat. Like, I wish it was like Zelda where you could get distracted by, ooh, I see this thing. Maybe it's, just a marker that pops up in the middle of campaign or vice versa. But I don't know, really interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, just how all the mechanics work. Like when I go into a planet, I'm just going to spend all my time there, and like I finish an encounter, right, within the planet. Like I finish a public event, do I just go to the next thing? Do I just walk to it?
And public event, was there any kind of, I'm not sure if they mentioned that, the amount of people in a public event? Did I hear a number
we don't
there?
know.
We don't know.
Well, I don't remember.
I thought I heard a rumor or a number about a pretty big number.
I thought it was really big, and I wasn't sure.
Don't remember. Got to review the footage.
Okay.
We haven't had time to sit down and look at all the threads and everything. But
there's just people talking all day too, as well. Oh, actually, did we touch on the PC?
Yeah. So actually, we have a
delay?
question from Greenout17. He says, "What about the PC release date? People are saying it's not the 8th. Did you ask the guys at Bungie?" We did. That full quote will be in the interview tomorrow, but they made it sound an awful lot like it is not going to hit the 8th. And I was like, September 1st?
Yeah.
And they were like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, we asked them why, and they expound on that a little bit.
Yeah, so look
but it's
for that
not guaranteed
tomorrow,
is
but
the point.
We don't know that it's going to launch day and date with the consoles. And there's a lot to consider there. You got BNet to consider. And also, they went BNet. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
BNet, not Steam.
Yeah.
How does chat feel about that? Let us know.
What do they type? Destin, just tell me. I'll let them know.
Rawr. I'm personally, I love BNet as a service.
Yeah.
I love being able to play Hearthstone on various platforms, and I like using it for all my games. I just have them there. It's comforting. Like I know the games are just going to work.
Yeah.
And having Destiny there, it's an obvious partnership. Activision owns them. They can align together and create this community. And the tool sets there on BNet.
Yeah,
you got your chat set up and everything.
Having the support of that team, and Mike Morheim from Blizzard came on as a special message.
Right.
They shot it in China, and like that, obviously he's a company man, but at the same time, like I think knowing Blizzard, they're pretty excited about certain games, and I think Destiny is the type of thing that they probably respect, and for them to help potentially support. Just that process, feedback from one of like Overwatch is crazy, right? So I'm also excited to just see like how Overwatch players get notified and what. I'll try that. You might have some really big crossover, which I think they're betting on as well.
Yeah, but the built-in chat's going to be great for them, and like you have all your friends there, so it's like, hey, World of Warcraft players, try out this new game we got.
Overwatch players,
Yeah, or Overwatch players.
Seems like
well, I think they'll get a little bit of both. You like raiding and WoW, try out this new thing, and I think they're going to get a huge PC player base.
It's smart. Plus,
James Duggan's head must have exploded when he heard BNet.
It's funny, I didn't even think about where it was going to end up because again, I'm just not as. I don't know. I wasn't worried about where the PC version would end up, but yeah, like it seems like an obvious choice. And like, yeah, let's face it, they're not going to pay Steam a percentage when they have a service that they can utilize and really build out however they need.
What's chat saying? Are they cool with it?
They're wondering, just to change everything. Anybody ask about Xur at all?
I didn't ask about Xur. They wouldn't have answered that
no
anyway.
Xur. That's
it was one of those questions you knew that like.
And the speaker too. Yeah, it's like
we got him up the speaker.
Yeah,
we got a
wait.
little thing there.
He accidentally swallowed a grenade launcher.
Yeah,
that's it for Xur, everyone. No, we don't know what happened.
They do mention the speaker, and they mention the Cryptarch in our full interview going live tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or probably late tonight.
So it seems like they're out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Eris Morn as well. Where is she?
Right?
Yeah, the voice actor, good friend
we were
Morla.
good friends with Morla. She's been on the
hanging
channel.
out.
Awesome.
She's a
She
fan
was
of the
there.
game, so there's no guarantee she's in the. Come on, she's
We can
definitely
hope.
there in the future.
We know she betrayed everybody, and that's why the tower's underneath.
We don't know. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Theory. Yeah.
That's my theory. Yeah, definitely. Guys, I think we should wrap it up. We are running it.
Yeah.
We've had like a 16-hour day, but we are incredibly excited. And before we go, I do want to give some shout-outs to Dave Toole, Brian Malkowitz, who have been working tirelessly here to make sure that this is live. This came together like really on the wire to make all of this happen. So thanks, and thank you, CJ, for all the work that you did on the show. CJ was there doing all of our shooting with the camera and all the direct feed, and Fran, of course, thank you for letting me come here and do my job.
Yeah, no problem. I took a nap today. No, it was a big day for us, and man, I have so much that I still want to talk about and ask. But
yeah, seriously,
we've got
there's so much more to do.
What, 5 months still or so?
Oh
to go?
yeah,
So-
E3's right around the corner. We're probably going to see some stuff there.
And that's it. E3's coming. So even to get another, like sometimes you just have to digest it for a little bit. I'm super excited to play, whatever else they have at E3 coming in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think that's maybe that's the best place to wrap it up is like, what is the roadmap for when can we expect more info?
E3 for sure. We're going to get more info. Probably the summer beta,
Yeah.
right? Summer.
Bungie
we don't
Day
know when
is
that
July
is.
7th. So
yeah, we got Bungie Day, and
maybe
then
around
September 8th, the game's out. It's going to be a ton of content leading up to that launch. There's like, hey, we got Destiny 2. By the way, it's out in September.
Yeah.
Like, remember the Destiny 1 lead up? It was like 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a few months. They're going to be full force with this
And
thing.
here you go. I remember talking to you. Did you think you'd see PvP? Or like I didn't. I
Yeah.
actually was
Everything's
super
here.
excited to play PvP. So it was really cool to be there.
Yeah, I'm speculating that June 13th, I think it is Sony's conference, but
yeah.
probably you're going to wait to see more of the wrapper pulled off there, and then they'll do some demos or whatever.
They could have something on Xbox too. We don't know.
That's a good point. That's Scorpio. Maybe it's at 60. I don't know. I'm going to keep propagating that rumor. Destin's like, they said no. I don't remember at this point. I have to be honest.
A few more shout-outs definitely to everybody at Activision who helped make the interview happen. Genevieve, Drew, Mark Noseworthy, Luke for making the time to talk to us, and all the community members who were willing to be part of our video. We're going to have that full product out later. I am just trying to make Dave and Brian stay here as long as I possibly can at this point. But no, Holtzman, Miss 5000 Watt. Do you remember everybody you interviewed, CJ?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to leave
You got
anybody
Mav
out,
and Miss Team KK,
yeah,
right? I
and
think it's all them in
Bife
there.
and,
Lono and
Did you get Dado
Bife.
in there? We saw
Yeah.
Dado
Did
today.
we get a chance
Stev for helping
No.
us out on the live show, and
Stev,
Dave is
thanks,
going to kill me,
Stev.
so I have to go. But thank you,
So many good
everybody,
people.
so much.
It was great.
More content coming tomorrow. You guys rock. And for more on Destiny, you are already in the right place. IGN. We'll see you soon.